I'm not going to lie, gang, these are quiet times. It's quiet times when it comes to Warhammer 40,000, in fact when it comes to quite a few things that Games Workshop makes, because as we know, thanks to the roadmaps they showed off a little while ago, things are slowing down. In the run-up to Christmas, there's not that much going on, especially in the 40k side of things. In fact, we're going to be talking more about that a little bit later at 8 PM UK time when we stream for a bit. What a way to advertise that. I was going to say event. It's not an event. Luckily, despite the fact that things are kind of dry right now, we do have the joy of the occasional Blood Bowl model to marvel at. And today, we've got this lad. This is Zzharg Madeye. And I have to admit, I do like a lad with a blunderbuss. Just a massive, ridiculous gun firing out not just the ball. I mean, obviously, got to fire at the ball. He's got to have a purpose on the field. Field, pitch, either way. He can't just be out there with a massive gun. That'll get him in trouble. And whilst that's not normally a problem in Blood Bowl, you need to at least, I think, pretend that you're there for a legitimate reason for at least like 10 seconds just to get away with showing up in the first place. No, he can shoot the ball from said gigantic gun along with a bunch of screws, nuts and bolts and stuff, which, I mean, that's not sporting, but it is Blood Bowl. I really like this. I actually really do. I think there is just that kind of quality to a lot of Blood Bowl miniatures, which is they're still very well like crafted. They're very well sculpted. They're also frequently just a little bit different to the vast majority of what we see from Games Workshop's other properties. So like Necromunda, you've got all the weirdest stuff, right? Necromunda gets all of the freaks, all the weirdos, all the flying potato men covered in cybernetics. Necromunda has the scary little freak angle absolutely nailed down. You don't tend to see that much silliness in 40k. You get a little bit more in Age of Sigmar. I mean, Age of Sigmar, we've got the Gloomspite Gits, bunch of little gobbos doing all sorts of mad gobbo things, which is fantastic, but it's not like massively prevalent. It doesn't show up everywhere. Blood Bowl is where they basically do the cartoon stuff, right? They do the things that are really silly, really off the wall, not freakish like Necromunda, not as serious as most of AOS, and of course, I mean, we don't really need to see all that much seriousness for 40k, which isn't a bad thing, but when it comes to models like this, ones that feel very Games Workshop, but also not current Games Workshop, little things like, he's got a very cartoony face. Like, he just has. One eye is a lot bigger than the other. He's got a very kind of screamy, scowly expression, but it looks like it's done in anger, but it also looks a little bit silly at the same time. That, like, smoke blast coming out of that gun with the various objects, like, being ejected out of it, super cartoony, like, super sort of animated. But it looks really, really fun, even though what it's coming out of, yeah, the gun is mad. Like, it's definitely mad. It's extremely over the top. The actual model holding it, like the Chaos Dwarf himself, old Zzharg Madeye, it's not a daft model. It's not overtly silly at its core. It's got all the hallmarks of just a really nicely sculpted fantasy mini, but, you know, with those extra trappings of sort of American football kind of, that kind of come with Blood Bowl, you've just got this really nice basis of a cool armoured dwarf with a cartoon gun firing an even more cartoon projectile out of it, whilst pulling an extremely cartoon expression. It just works. It just works so well. It's one of the things I think I like most about Blood Bowl is, again, it's like that thing of, you go to AOS for the insane, like, expansion on that world where everything is extremely different from each other, and it's just super creative. Then Necromunda is where they go to send all the freaks and send all the really horrible stuff for the most part. And then Blood Bowl just gets all of the daft. All of the daft, but still executed in a very, very satisfying way. It's been nice seeing the Chaos Dwarfs come back to Blood Bowl as it is anyway. But this lad I really like. I really like. It's very, very fun. Also a nice touch that he's resting his foot on the helmet of a regular dwarf player. That's really nice. I do like the configuration of the horns on this guy as well. they look very threatening, but also a bit silly, which is, I think, kind of what you want from a guy with a giant blunderbuss. who is shooting a football out of it. A little part of me kind of wishes that that gun was just available for, I don't know, just like, I just want loads of that gun. It's a great looking gun. The little pressure gauge on the side is really fun. The fact it's got a spiked, like, the kind of grip is all spiky. It's got that kind of chaos embossment, like filigree around the edges. It's got that extra bit of metal work to make it look chaosy. Even down to around the barrel. Little chaos spikes coming across. I love that. That's just really fun attention to detail. I want more of those. It looks really cool. I mean, at this point, we should sort of expect that Blood Bowl gets bangers, right? I mean, most of the time, Blood Bowl, when we see a new model for it, it looks fantastic. It just feels like they're having loads of fun with it. Same thing with the last round of Necromunda stuff. And I will say, Kill Team as well. The newly kind of reimagined Vespids. Really cool. But yeah, there's just something there's just something about this that I don't know, I really like this character. I just really like him. It looks great. Anyway, just a brief one for now. As I say, there'll be a stream later on. But if you don't want to watch that, that's fine, because some of it will be clipped out and it will be turned into a video, probably, depending on how it goes. I mean, if there isn't a video of it, that means it went terribly, in which case you'll just have to go and watch the actual stream itself to see how badly it went. That's not a ringing endorsement of my own ability to make content, is it? It's not great. I should probably find a better way to advertise than that. Or we'll just leave it there. We'll just leave it there. I'll see you later.